Hello, Tom from Flagstone, Canada. I'd just like to take this opportunity to kind of do a quick tour around the new houses so that we have some basic concept with regarding how those houses are being built. Very conveniently, not too far away from where I live, we have this construction zone which has all stages of houses. So I will start from this so-called neighborhood concept plan. So this is basically tells you what's going to be looks like for this nice little community corner. Yeah, so you can get a kind of general idea. But if you look at around here, this is a field where you have new houses just starting the building stage, and also you have houses pretty much finished. So let's just take pretty much wherever we can go and have a quick look. So it will be piece by pieces. I may or may not know some surfaces stuff even, but I will try my best. In any case, if I'm not uncertain, I will try to find answer either later on, digging out by myself, or I will find some expert give me some good idea. Okay, so now let's get started. This is basically the kind of starting point of a house, very typical single family style, or in this case you have let me see 1 2 3 4 5, yeah, 4 or 5 kind of in a row. It's called row homes, or sometimes you call it townhomes, depending on kind of the number. As you can see on the far end, I'm not sure if you can see my finger pointing there. Those are single families. I believe they do not have garage attached. So pretty standard small little ginger house, very nice and beautiful for a small family of 3, 4, even 5, 6. It will be very comfortable to accommodate it, and also it's a so-called starting price. But let's go back to what this is starting point. So basically, to build a house, you need to have a piece of land. That's what you can see. Look at all those little pails. That's basically the kind of a foundation. They need to dig out this piece of lot. So once they dig out those dirt out, this is going to have so-called concrete pouring. So let's we'll make sure I got my safety boot. So I will try be very careful to go on this little gadgets here to get me into the inside of the okay, I made it. Beautiful. Okay, so now you can see this is basically the inside of the house. Okay, so as I said, this originally is a very flat piece of lot, and basically you need to dig out all the dirt out, and then you have so-called pouring concrete stage. So I think the depths they digged is around 4 feet. That's what normally called the frozen level, meaning the reason, if I remember correctly, to make sure your concrete is on solid, undisturbed foundation in any weather condition over the years. You need to dig into the certain level so that the ground will not be frozen. And that certain level in North America, in the city where I am in, Edmonton, is fairly cold in the winter. It can be, let's say, 30, 40 for a couple of weeks, months. That's very common. So you don't want all the solid, all the ground you build your concrete on can be frozen and then melt. that is going to be a big problem. That's why you need to have to dig very, very deep to the point. The ground you are going to put your foundation on will be very, very solid. No change, no frozen, no such things like that. That's where that 4 feet. That's why you can see that digging underneath. So those are separate concrete. The contractors doing those earth work. Okay, so that finished, then the concrete guy comes in. They kind of build the layout, and then they start doing their foundation pooling, if I remember correctly. And you can see the foundation is a pretty. This is, you can see it's basically like a box, right? And if you look at the bottom, they got pretty thick and wider piece. So that's actually the foundation. And where I'm standing on is really the wall, right? So if you look at the inside, again, you'll see a very solid foundation. If I'm not mistaken, I think they are for the structure supporting poles to be stand on. Those sections. I could be wrong, but I will kind of walk around this whole neighborhood, and we may or may not be able to see a little bit more, so that what we see is making sense. So this is really the starting stage, really. I'm not sure if I zoom, because the sunlight is pretty strong. It's a little bit hard for me to see from where I'm standing on the screen, but I will try my best. Hopefully you can see the whole picture. So you can see the window is being left, the wall is being built up. So it could be 8 feet, 9 feet, depending on how high you want to have your ceiling for the future basement area. And right now you can see they are still pretty much dirt, right? That's okay, because what so-called basement floor was really pouring by so-called slab. Again, don't quote me on that, but I think it's about 6-inch, maybe 8-inch, kind of concrete with a reinforced bar put on top. So that's why it's very, very important you have very solid wall of concrete, no structure issue. So when you're buying a house, there are kind of leakings you want to be very, very careful. If you see the what we call the vertical kind of little bit of crack, that, if I remember properly, should be not too big a deal. I'm not saying that's a great thing. That's going to be something you need to be careful and trying to figure out how to get it taken care of, fixed. But I believe that is something you can manage, or certain reasonable repair can taken care of that kind of issue. However, if you have the crack or broken pieces on this wall, vertical, the horizontal type, that is really going to be a trouble, because basically you have some force to pushing them to move vertically. That's going to be a very, very concerned issue. So that's one thing. In terms of slab in the future, if you put in slab, you can see a little crack, doesn't matter what direction. Or again, you don't want that, but that's not the end of the world, generally speaking. So I think I talked about the overall here. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, see that black thing? That is what they call sump pump. Okay, so that's where the sump pump is. Quite honest, I don't really quite know what that is. So I will leave it as a question mark and see what I can find out later on. Then now you look at the wall. Did you notice all those little chips, those metal pieces, the one I'm actually stepping on? I believe they are designed to hold on the frame. Later on, it's going to be built on the main floor, second floor. And those are pretty much wood structure. And those straps is kind of, I think the way they would make it work is they flip it over to this side, and then the wood foundation for the main floor will be put on here, and then they strap back. So that way they enforce the foundation. The frame we are going to put on top of this foundation. Okay, so really, I think that's pretty much all I really know, and not that much. But anyway, so this is what we have. That piece of wood, from what I can see, they are sort of used to secure all the cables, so on and so forth. Let me go back safely. So I probably want to turn off the video for a second and make sure I'm coming back to the ground safely. Just give me a second. So I came back alive. That's great. So let's continue. So okay, now a couple of things I want to highlight here. First thing, I think you may see that black piece of pipe, and that pipe sort of kind of goes down to the bottom here. I think we should go in and take a close look here. So basically, you have this thing just kind of hit on the ground. Okay, so I will explain what I see. Okay, guys, so don't worry. And here is another piece. So those are what we call the weeping tile, and this came from the window well. So it's really not that much, but if you look at, I'm not sure if you can see it. You see those little kind of opening here. That's where the water actually can seep in through into those so-called weeping tile, and then they are going to sort of being by gravity goes into the sump pump, and then the water is being pumped out. Okay, so that's basically the weeping tile. One thing you may see is the black color. So those are the tars they put on the outside of the concrete. Pretty much, if you look at them clearly, it's kind of to the ground level, so all the dirt is going to be filled back to the point where you won't see the black. I believe that's kind of how it works. We will check on the other side. So weeping tile, we talk about the tar. Okay, so what is tar for? Again, I need to double check, but based on what I remembered, they are actually used to prevent deterioration, protect this leaking or some kind of insulation from the dirt, from moisture, deter bugs, whatever. So those are kind of a purpose. Because they are very toxic, you do not want to see them on the inside wall for obvious reason. Believe it or not, we do have homes. We actually found that they actually put the tars inside. So go figure. Anything can happen depending on what kind of people doing the work. Okay, so we saw this weeping tile. As you guys see, I explained already. You can see they are all the way through. They have those little edges on the top, just like I showed in the beginning. And this is where we saw the cable is in. I believe the electric cable is here too, so that you can secure them on this piece of pipe. So that's cable, electric cable, I believe, or digital cable. This is a good one. I think, if I'm not mistaken, again, you got that sump pump, and that's probably where the sump pump going to pump in the water so that you can have those waters goes into out of the house. Not too much here. As you can see, they have this weeping tile. Again, I remember for the weeping tile, you don't really want to have all the dirt kind of just cover them. I believe, again, don't quote me on this, but I do believe there is one more step. they should be covered by the little what they call little stones or pebbles. So there are certain size of little pebbles. For obvious reason, you want water seep in through those holes, so they can collect rather than being plugged by the dirt or whatever. So that has to be there before you actually can put water back. The dirt back. Okay, so that's what it is. I think this is where the pipe kind of meet here, and I believe there might be something goes down into the drain. Into the sump pump. If you look at the inside, so the sump pump is there. So the water kind of collect all the way here, goes into the sump pump. Okay, and here the same thing. I believe the sump pump should be somewhere there too. Okay, so that's really gives you the whole idea of this whole system. I think this is overall what it looks like. And now you can see all those construction material. They are likely going to be what they call the framing piece, because once you finish, you need to put on the frame on top, build your main floor, second floor, so on and so forth. So they are all there. Those are the boards. I think this is kind of for, I don't remember that word, but that thing is actually on the ceiling. They vertically kind of form that structure to support everything. Blackjack, I think that's the kind of adjustable hold piece in the basement to enhance the overall structure. Okay, so those are for that. Obviously, I got a bunch of other things. Window well, so that's kind of pretty standard. This one is actually pretty big. So window well, frame. That's pretty much it. Let me see anything else we should take a look. Not that much, but let me go down from here. Let me turn off the video for a second, and hopefully I'm not hurting myself with one hand hold the camera. Okay, so I survived again. Anyway, so as you can see now, those are the dirts are being actually put back. Unfortunately, I can't really see where that little pebbles I'm talking about. Obviously, they're being covered already. Not sure is this or not, but anyway. And as you can see, this is likely the natural gas comes in. Okay, so you can see the electric panel is there. There are a few cable lines. That is maybe the drain for some pump as I'm talking about. Okay. This is they hold the structure here pretty well, eh? And I don't really know what that is, but it's a concrete thing, I guess. So as you can see, this is basically how the whole stair is being held up on this piece of structure. So you will have this triangle reinforcement supporting, which is being bolted on the concrete, and you got this concrete block to give you the level, and this whole thing is being pre-set here. So once you have the foundation, this structure can be, to me almost they are sort of been built, just been put back, or they could be built here, who knows. So those are the stairs, how they put the kind of concrete stairs. They are all like that, as you can see, right? From here you can see the structure, from here you won't. Yeah. So, but you kind of knows why this thing is very, very solid, and because that's how it's been built. Okay. So here again, I don't see anything too much. They are just sort of being hold on that piece of concrete, and there may be some structure on the back, which I don't have angle to check. But this is the stairs, we saw it, and here is that panel thing we talked about. I think that's pretty much it. So I think now let's go to see anything else interesting. I still quite trying to figure out what this is. Oh, I think this is going to be interesting one. Okay. Okay. So sump pump, you saw that. You see that piece of pipe. I do believe that's where the water comes in. Okay, and you have the sump pump being put on top, and you do need to make sure that sump pump is going to work well all the time, because otherwise you will get so-called flooding basement. However, again, once you see this, I think one concept you will feel slightly comfortable, I hope, is even you got water into the basement, so what, right? Because it's just a slab of concrete piece, and it will seep through to the ground underneath. Obviously, don't want that happen. But once a while it happened again, once you know the structure in this nature, you know, as long as you take proper treatment and also solve the root cause, it's not the end of the world. That's the beauty, or I think the advantage, if you know a little bit on what's going on for house building. Okay, as a homeowner or whatever resident, I think it's going to benefit as well. So that's kind of, oh, what is that, right? Did you see that white thing? The white little piece of paper goes there. This is very interesting. I think if I guess it not wrong, or if I make a guess, that is what they call the there is some sort of radiation gas. You need to have a way to keep monitoring. I think this is a piece of pipe to allow that monitoring to take sample of the earth underneath. That could be that thing. Okay, again, I will do a quick follow-up and see if I'm telling the truth, or I guessed it right, or I need a correction. Okay, so let's move on. Those are the house already been finished. That's kind of quite half finished. Some are finished, some are moving in, some are still on the way through. Okay, so I think this is going to be a nice opportunity to see something at this end. So I think we know this is a natural gas, okay, article. So yeah, they are being bolted on the concrete. The pipe is pretty solid. The valve is being closed. It's being capped. So that's the gas. You got your gas here. And here, I think you got your electric cable. Don't know what that cable is, but they got two lines. But they got their electric cable, okay? So do you remember we talked about that piece of bolt? I think this is how they kind of secure them. Okay, let's move on here. Again, do you remember the piece of pipe we are talking about? This is how the, again, if I'm not mistaken, sump pump pumping the water out into this piece of pipe, okay? That must be the natural gas. Why they got two, I have no idea. Maybe they are duplex water line, Not sure what that yellow thing is. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will kind of just walk around and pick up the area I feel worth to talk about, or at least I think it's going to be useful for any resident and the house owner. Okay, so I think this is a nice piece. As you can see, the frame, I will kind of try to see if we can see how frame is being built up. But once the frame is being built, they are just the structure of wood based on the design drawing. They need to build exactly what that drawing is going to look like. So those are framers job. Okay, so and once the frame finished, you have the windows, doors, all those things on. And in this case, they have this piece of paper. Okay, so they are being stamped on. But if you take a look, I think they are not. Okay, so this is basically the wood, right? If you see here, this is nothing but wood. Do you remember I talked about that piece of strap? That's where you can see. Okay, so they have that piece of strap comes out and then tied onto this frame, and then they cover it with another piece of layer, and then this is another protection. On top of that, you will start to have so-called you can see this thing. This is nice. This is called siding. Okay, so that is kind of almost like aluminum piece to protect those wood from damage. Those are the wood covers. This is decoration, but this is actually the piece you can see. When you have water comes out, it will go here, and then they have this siding. They are all going to down. When they go down, they go into that what they call it, weeping tile, and it goes into the sump pump. Okay, so that's how it works. You got window, you got what they call the fire. This one they don't put an ace chop, so the water comes out from the roof. They have to have those collection little boxes along the side of the house. That's called a board. The ace chop. But for ace chop to be able to secure on the side edge, you need to have this called a fascia board. But fascia board is covered by this metal thing too, right? So I think that's how they get the whole thing really works overall. Okay, so the door, everything, the structure is pretty straightforward. Okay, so I will probably pick pieces I think is worth the talking. I think, okay, you see there, they got this frame, they got this black tar paper to cover, and then they got those little metals siding along the side of the window edge. This is the finished house already. Okay, so you can see all those ace chop I'm talking about. You got roofing, you got beautiful decoration outside. Okay, so let's go to the other side. Okay, so this is another site, pretty much more or less the same, except the size-wise is much bigger, as you can see, and also this is what they call the walkout basement, and you can see the wall seems much taller, could be 10 feet, 9 feet, who knows, but obviously you got all the basic are the same, it's just bigger, right? You got window wells, electric panel, that little pipe get you the earth radiation test sample. If you want nice view from outside, you can walk out into that backyard. Community garden is there. Here we saw this, they got this so-called detached garage. So the garage seems pretty much the same. You got foundation as well. However, I think the difference here is going to be they got this frame. Quite honest, I think they have something to do with another layer of concrete, but what that is, I have no idea. Gas line, all the frame stuff comes in. I'm going to come and take a look later on to see how it progresses. This must be for I'm almost thinking, I don't know. Yeah, I will leave it later on. They got pretty strong, big thing. That could be for the whole structure because the house is much bigger, who knows. And this is the stairs, could be inside all the frame structure. Okay, so I will see some other things. Okay, so those are the garage, detached garage are being built already, but those are the kind of foundation which they are going to build later on. As you can see, this is basically pouring concrete, make this slab. I don't know, I think this is maybe 18-20 feet long. Quite a standard garage. Once finished, they're going to be something like this. Or maybe not, because those are connected. They are all separate, okay? So, don't really know too much to say about it, except they are pretty standard. That's called slab, right? You put on the concrete floor, and they are really not that much. You got the base, you got the frame, and the frame really just a piece of wood, have nothing. Those are another layers. So, oh, you see that little corner? That's where the electric comes in. The one issue for this type of one thing I want you take a look. You see, this is interesting. You see how the links from here to here, and then look at the other end. So what that tells you, if this is flat, it means this is a slope, right? So that area, I'm almost thinking 2 or 3 inch. This one is 6, maybe 6 inch. So it's quite a bit of slope for obvious reason. I think you know that already. It basically helps water get out. And you got that electric plug here, and once finished it will be something like that. So that's pretty small house in a nutshell. You do not have to have a foundation, it looks like. Okay, so it's pretty quick and easy build overall. And this is the plug-in. There must be some sort of cable goes down to there. So let's go in to take a look. It's job. Foundation. Gas line. Some pump. Okay, so now I think we should check out some other things. I will try to see if we can see some frame before I call the end of today. Okay, so this is a great example. So as you can see, they are building the frame for this house. Looks like they are going to be something like this. This is maybe 2,000 square feet, 2 storage with basement. Normally it's undeveloped, detached, attached house, garage, like this. It's price-wise about 500, give or take, maybe a bit more. I think could be a little bit more nowadays. Anyway, let's come back to see those houses. So, framing. Those are the garage we talked about already. So they are sort of building on top of them. But I think a major thing we want to know, this is interesting. So instead of doing the, what they call it, the tar paper. They put in something like this. Let me see, what is this? Strathcona County Electrical Plumbing Gas Inspection. Okay, so this one is being inspected by county. Looks like in June 12, so just a few days ago, 8 days ago. Okay, so let me see. I think they did some tar paper thing. Yeah, don't know. Well, I have no idea what this is for, but obviously there's some good reason for them to put in this. Okay. Okay, so did you see those straps? That's kind of thing I like to show you. Do you remember in the other video, they are all on the other side and all kind of go that way. But now they kind of put in this way. And as you can see, when they put in this way, they basically screw them on. Okay, so this way they can be very secure to hold on the bottom. That's if you look at the bottom, they are all going to be like that. So this is basically the frame. Okay, and so those are the area when you build that concrete, you see that already, right? And so this one is actually wider than the bottom, but as far as I can see, they are basically just build the foundation of the house and put every structure there, and those are all being strapped back. What else? And those are kind of the wall you can see from outside. Those are all 2x4s, I believe, which you use so-called stud. There are more. There are some sort of a board, this and that. Let's go upstairs and take a look. Okay, so as you can see, this is basically the board. So you build so-called framing. Okay, so they got some bees flying around. I'm a little bit trying to keep myself away. Okay, so as you can see, those are so-called framings. Okay, so this could be 2x6 because they are on the outside walls. I hope I'm saying that right, but this obviously is not 2x4. They are wider. And I think the distance wise, they are 18 maybe each. You need to be 18 or 24, whatever. So they are all pretty regular. Okay, and then you build a kind of corner, and then you kind of doing whatever the design drawing asks you to do. So the flooring we are normally working on are this kind of board. They are really nothing more than this. So this thing, yeah. So this thing is basically just the nail to the frame we have. Let me see if I can go into the bottom and take a look what's inside, what's in the basement. Hope I can go down. Okay. Okay, so this is the basement. We should take a look. Looks like the stairs is been put in already. Landing area here. And this is where the basement looks like when you put on the frame. You can see right now there's still no concrete pouring. I do believe the way they do it is they actually pouring it from the window. It's pretty crazy. I will see if I can catch that part. But you can see this is how they structure where those concrete pad is for, because they need to be used to support all those main structure. If you remove this block away, the whole thing is going to be very dangerous. Okay, and so this is going to be the main structure. They are actually pretty thick. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are actually, if you look carefully, they kind of is a small thing. They kind of press them together. Used to be a really real wood, but now synthetic. Okay. Basement, and then you can see those are the materials to hold another layer. So your height for this one, I think is about 9 feet, if I'm not mistaken. But once you have the everything, you have the ceiling, so it's about 7, 8 feet the most. Okay, and the same pump, that pipe, not sure what that is. So you got this one layer, and then the second layer, and then on top of that, you put on your flooring. That's about it. Yeah, I don't know. If you look at the house, it's fairly, structure-wise, it's fairly straightforward. And you put 2x4 along this pipe, along this side. I think that's for the drywall you can put on in the future. 2x6 on this part. So, and you can see the thickness of this piece, which we know is the flooring, right? Yeah, so it's the flooring. So they are pretty half-inch, or even could be a little bit thicker, because you need to hold the whole people there, right? So it's pretty thick. That's about it. And you just build this whole wood structure thing all the way up. Then you cover them with the roof. You got your house. I think this is good for today. See you guys later.